nah, they ain't got any shit on me. Heart throb with the team, we escape in the streets, travel around the whole world. I got sand on my feet, got your palm in my hands, calm in a palm tree. Let's build our own farm, run away like Sherry. I'm your choo cherry bomb, sipping on a cherry beat, getting freaky to the speaker, call that high fidelity. Tell you how bad, no baby, tryna pull up in your driveway. They say your presence lately, but I gotta have it my way. Tell you how bad.
Oh, folks, whoa, we are live. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We have an awesome show lined up for you, and this is the fun part of what I get to do here as a live streamer. I get to do things on the fly. So as you can see, there's my I didn't have my green screen set up. Okay. These are real bricks, folks, just so you know. Back behind me, these are real bricks. So all right, thank you so much if you're tuning in, guys. We are live on our YouTube platform. If you're checking us out over on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. We are always trying to build up our viewership over there. Hit the notification bell as well. It will let you know whenever we are live, whenever we schedule new lives, and whenever we drop new video content on the channel. So if you're checking us out over there on YouTube, thank you so very much. And we got some cool folks already tuning in. Dr. ELO, how are you? Charlene Brown, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. And of course, we are streaming on our favorite platform. And here you go again. No green screen. What kind of professional live streamer are you, Gabe? I was like, oh my God, now I'm going to have my ass reamed because I should have had this already done. But that's okay. This is to show you. There you go. Live bricks. These are real bricks behind me, folks, just so you know. All right. Where were we? Oh, checking us out on LinkedIn. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are awesome. Dropping it down in the comments. Thank you, Kenneth Dunner Jr. Of course, thank you as well to Miss Claire Davis. All you wonderful people. And yes, savor these nuts, Dan. We do. I need to get a sound so I can, again, put on my thing on my Roadcaster. So whenever you say that, I will have it. You know what? We're going to use a Taco Bell bell. Why not? There you go. So savor these nuts. There you go. Thank you again so much, everybody, for tuning in. And of course, guys, we just launched, remember this, we just relaunched our swag store. So you can go check out, get some MPro Media swag. We do have swag, hats, shirts, mugs. I'm still waiting on mine that I've ordered. Even though it's my own merch, I haven't got it yet. I haven't got it yet, but that's okay. It's coming. It's coming. So you can get the same merch that I'll be wearing on the show. I will be my own advertisement. So high quality stuff. So head over there to our swag store. Get you some swag, folks. We do appreciate it. All right. And of course, you can always hang out with me after the show. I will be hanging in our...
Release the Kraken! Release the Kraken!
All right, we are back. Wait a minute, before we bring him on, I don't want to bring her on yet, just yet. I gotta do something, okay? I gotta give her an introduction. So guys, I want to introduce you to one of the coolest, hippest, whatever, just one of the best individuals that I started following within the last year. She does really great content on her YouTube channel. She just completed about a little over a month and a half ago, 100 consecutive days of live streaming. So I'm doing 100 episodes. She did it 100 in a row. So that is more impressive if you ask me. But not only that, she does a Sunday show as well for on her ladies' night, Sunday live streaming, and she does, I think, a Tech Tuesday live stream as well, which we'll geek about that a little bit more in depth. But guys, please do me a favor, help me welcome to the show One of my favorites, hopefully, should become one of your favorites as well. Please welcome Miss India Delgado to the show. Thank you. Let's give her a round of applause. Round of applause, folks. Please.
What is cracking?
What is cracking indeed?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. See, this is what I love about having another live streamer that does this, is that, you know what, she brings her own sound effects.
Yes, yes, yes.
So we don't just come with a little bit. We come with a lot. We come with everything.
Yep.
So, you know, one of the first things that I wanted to mention is that I love, and this is a platform that here on LinkedIn. So I don't know how often you stream on LinkedIn. I've been here now for going on 3 years, but this is a platform about people who really share and open up about what they do as either in their profession or as in live streaming, or what you do. And one of the things that sort of really stuck out to me when I started following you, India, was that, you know, you share a lot of your life on camera. And for a lot of people, I've seen people who kind of hesitate a little bit. Like, I don't know if I want to show that side of who I am, or, you know, what I do as a professional, or what I do in my personal life. And you seem to have no problem doing it at all. So why don't we talk a little bit about how you got started, first of all, in live streaming, and how you've made that sort of part of almost your brand, where people know your life, and again, pretty much become fascinated with it. Because I do have a confession. I've become fascinated with her dog, Koa, who comes on.
Koa's punished right now. I knew you were gonna look for her, but she's punished. She was absolutely irritable today, and I'm like, you're not gonna drive me crazy so she's crated right now. I thought about her for you because I know how much you love her, but today,
yes. And that's the thing is, though, but those are the parts. Those are the little things that I love. That you share those little parts of your life that most people, again, like I say, aren't so comfortable sharing. So how has that been for you in opening up that way? Because you share quite a bit. You live stream with your partner. You do all these wonderful things, and I love that you share that so very, very much. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's so funny. Paul says Koa is in the doghouse. Literally, exactly.
Yes, Mr. Moderator's in the house.
Literally. Okay, so when I started live streaming, it's coming up my 2-year anniversary. Whoa. It's coming up on November 6th. So, of course, right, November 6th, 2020. So it is going to be 2 full years. And I'm going to start preparing for like all of the like highlights and memorable moments. Back last year in 2021, I did a 5-hour live stream that the community just kept coaxing me. I was like, guys, I'm gonna get off, guys. And that's what that's the ongoing joke with Mr. Moderator, Paul Duncan. Guys, I'm gonna get off. And Paul's like, yeah, let India say it 5 more times, and then she's really gonna get off. And I remember that day, like Diana jumped in. People were randomly jumping into the Ecamm interview mode to keep me going, because they're like, nah, you got to break the record. Nah, you got to do it. Nah, you got to do it. So I'm going to prepare for my 2-year live streaming anniversary, and going to be talking about clips and, you know, highlights and things like that. How I got started, my first live stream, I found Ecamm. We were talking about this in the background, right? I found Ecamm. I started, like, probably 99% of us started streaming with OBS. It was absolutely horrible. First of all, I had the wrong computer because I had a MacBook Air. Totally wrong computer for streaming, right? As a content creator at all. It would literally crash OBS instantaneously. Ecamm was okay. And so then I did some research, sold my MacBook Air, got a 16-inch i9, like I decked out, right? Like as us content creators do. And I had actually bought this microphone. This is a Lewitt 240 Pro. I bought it for the looks. It does sound good. I bought it more for the looks. And I bought the Shure MV7. And I was doing a comparison video. See, there you go, right? So I had both of them, and I was going to return one of two, which I never did. I still have both of them.
You started up with it.
I said, I'm going
Yes.
to return one of these. I'm going to save money somewhere.
All right.
Absolutely not. 2 years later, the MV7 is still there. But I was doing a comparison video, like a pre-recorded video. See, Gabe laughs. Gabe is laughing because that means that it's happened to him. That's why he's laughing.
So I have, again, yes, I have this, and then I have a Rode Pod mic as well, because I bought both, and I was like going to do, oh yeah, I'll just keep
Right.
whichever one is
It sounds better and works best for me, and then you never send it, right?
I still have it.
Exactly. So you understand my pain. So I was doing a recap, like a comparison video, and the Ecamm Live. First of all, the program Ecamm Live is a phenomenal, outstanding program.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like what takes the program and what makes people like myself, I call myself an Ecamm evangelist, an evangelist, right? Like is because of the community. It takes you to that whole nother level. So the community is in absolutely an amazing community. And I want to get back to that comment, Gabe, because I actually started anew. So I'm not going to try not to get squirreled, but I do want to go back to that comment. So I was like, well, why do this pre-recorded video if I can just go live in the Ecamm community, right? Like they're so cool. Let me just go live and test it out. Like, why am I so afraid? And I went live on November 5th. I went live and I was doing the comparison microphone. I had the Rodecaster Pro. Like I had like someone come on, and 3 hours, my very first live stream. My very first live stream, 3 hours.
Yes.
Dr. Elo, I have 5 main mics. It's a problem.
Yes.
And that was it. Like that was the addiction. And what happened was I was live streaming in the Ecamm community, and Doc saw the stream. He saw how I was engaging. I was communicating with people in the chat and things like that. And he messaged me and he was like, yo, come on my stream on Saturday. Yeah. So I think that whatever November 5th was, 2020, a Wednesday, right? Whatever day it was literally a few days later. I was traveling and I was like, I can't do it this Saturday. I'll do it the next Saturday. I got on Doc's show the following Saturday. No, I don't understand the word short. I got on Doc's show the following Saturday, and I literally became like a temporary co-host of his for like a whole month straight, where I literally jumped on his Saturday shows. I jumped on his Thursday shows just hanging out with him. And that's all it took. And I've been live streaming literally ever since. So that's how I got into live streaming, and then sharing. I think, I don't know, I think that's a growth thing for me. Like as I've emotionally and, matured. Yes. In terms of corporate America and what I do right by day, I'm a banker. I've been a manager. And so I've naturally coached people for years. I've been in management, and the most successful leaders, not managers, the most successful leaders are the ones that are relatable, and you open yourself up, right? Because how can you get people to learn and grow if you're not showing them who you are, right? Like you can't tell people what to do. You got to show people you're a person. And so I think that thing for me of sharing who I am is just something that just dealing with people, it comes a little bit more naturally.
Oh, I love that. And for those who maybe aren't familiar, I'm going to pull it back a little bit. So when she's talking about Doc, we know him as Doc, but
yep.
Here on their LinkedIn, if folks, Sean Doc Boyd is who we're talking about. If you've ever seen him or heard him, because I've actually saved a clip from him I've had forever. I went on a stream for him for whatever reason. I was recording it on my Rodecaster, and I just saved it. So this is Doc right
Since
here.
you can't use the phone while we're interviewing, please open up voice memos and press record and set it right on the table underneath you. So should anything happen, you could be able to send me that audio. And then that's normally decent enough to bless it so you can put out your piece. So
there you go. That's Doc.
Wait, have you not heard my Doc impression?
No.
Hey, gang. All right, gang. So what we're going to do on this Ecamm Live demo today, gang, let me tell you what you need to do, gang. If you know, he hates to do that, but he absolutely loves it.
Oh yeah, I love it. So I love it because there's a running sort of thing as well between him and Fulgens. So
Yeah.
where Fulgens makes fun of him as well, and I love it.
Yeah.
But that's the cool thing about this community. It's
Right.
really such a really cool, inclusive community, and this is why I stress it, because I want other people to understand that this can be created and shared at again, like almost like here what I'm trying to do here on LinkedIn as well. I try to build
Yeah.
out a community that's of like live stream creators who not only we don't see it as competition. You know, we see it as, you know, collaboration and
Right.
helping others out and wanting to learn how to actually get better at what we do. Because I think when you make everybody around you better, especially when you're
Absolutely.
it just helps increase not just visibility, but then the way that people connect and want to actually do things like this for themselves.
Yep.
So I want to talk to I want to go back to this because we were mentioning this
Yep. Yep.
about growing your network
Yep.
here on LinkedIn, because I'm starting to see more creators coming here on this platform. And I love that
Yep.
because number one, I've really stressed my time as a live streamer here on this platform more than anywhere else.
Right.
Because I saw that when I first started streaming, I saw that there was a big gap. I started paying attention to a lot of like other streamers, and I connected with a lot of streamers that were on Facebook, on YouTube, and all these
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
places, but there was a gap here. And I was like,
Yep.
that's where I need to put my stake
Yeah.
down and really work at it.
Yep.
And I've been doing it since 2019 here on this
Yeah.
platform, streaming and getting it out here. And here's the wonderful thing: as this platform has sort of matured and flourished, so have I. And
Right.
then I'm able to start bringing in other creators who I see going out there and doing not just things that are innovative, but then they're using things like what you can do with Ecamm to be a little bit more creative. And I want I want to actually see that now on my
Right.
timeline feed.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you stream on Facebook and anywhere else, not that there's nothing wrong with that. It's great that you do that. But each platform has its sort of thing that it wants to concentrate its creators on. So like, for example, YouTube, right? I mean, YouTube's great. But a lot of people use it more as a resource to go learn how to, I want to go how to.
Right. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Definitely.
right.
Yeah.
And then people will go to Facebook and then they feel like that's their own personal soapbox. I can
Yeah.
talk my religion points,
Right.
all the other stuff here. The thing about LinkedIn that's so differently unique that I love
Yeah.
about it is, number one, no kids. It's a business networking platform. Kids do not come here. So
Right.
we can do the things a little bit more
Right.
openly because
Yeah.
we're dealing with adults, number one. And then
Yeah.
number two, it is a platform that is built around business and connectivity and wanting to network with people. So connecting with individuals is so much easier. And then on top of that, people, again, we're mostly adults, so they're really learning to open up and flourish and be vulnerable and be themselves. And that's the cool thing about what I love about this platform. And I love that, but I want to start seeing it now used in a more creative manner.
Yep.
And the only way for me to do that is to bring in the more skilled individuals who know how to do that.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then start watching all the other people go, I want to do that.
Right. Right.
And then they start reaching out. Oh, who's this India? I want to reach out to her. What
Right.
does she do? Da, 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 da. And I want to learn. Well, do you have anything? Do you have courses? And that's the thing about this
Right.
platform. They love this stuff. They live
Right.
for learning how
Yeah.
to do courses and everything
Yeah.
else. And this is what you do. I mean,
Yeah.
you've
Yeah.
created courses, and a lot of your live streams talk about the technical side. So let's
Yep.
open that up a little bit as well, in talking
Yep.
about how you have become sort of enamored in teaching and sharing tech, because it's always fun. You actually
Yeah.
have a community built around this as well,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So with the LinkedIn, this is actually a second profile that I have because I'm a banker by day. That's what I say. I'm a banker by day,
Yes.
content creator by night. And so very similar to the points that you touched on is why I created this secondary profile, because you'll find there's only one other India Delgado, and that's me, right?
Yeah.
So, well, actually,
Yes.
we discovered on one of my 100 days of live streaming, there is a weed smoking nun in California, and her name is India Delgado. I'm not even kidding, but that's for a whole nother stream. There is another India Delgado on LinkedIn. It's CRA, Community Reinvestment Act. I don't even know what my whole title is, but I'm a banker, and that's what I've been doing for years. And I don't talk about my content creation and my entrepreneurial side there, right? Because it's a very different platform. I'm not marketing it to that community. That's a totally different thing. So I actually just created this profile maybe 2 or 3 months ago. It's very, very new, very recent. So Dan, yes, please help me. And all of you guys help me grow my community here, because exactly with what Gabe said in terms of there is an absolute need for content creators and entrepreneurs. And one of my mottos for my business model is helping you to digitally present your best self, right? The way I got into content creation and the way I got into eCam is actually by being a banker. What I do is that I'm a mortgage loan originator. I specialize with first-time home buyers. I hold their hands. I work with nonprofit agencies throughout the state of New Jersey to help individuals achieve the dream of homeownership. A big part of my job is to teach financial literacy courses on homeownership.
Yeah.
Prior to the pandemic, I was doing it at the actual nonprofit agencies. I was doing them at local branches. I was presenting at libraries, and that all stopped.
Right.
Corporate America still has their social responsibility, and banks still had their obligation to the CRA, the Community Reinvestment Act, to still continue financial literacy. So we were forced to pivot. And so everything went to online, to webinar, to Zoom. And so for me, and you know, Gabe, because you watch me live,
Yes.
right? Like I'm very engaging, I'm very interactive.
Yes,
so
you are.
I feed off of other people's energies, which is why I absolutely love live streaming, because I can feel your energy when the chat is going off.
Yes.
That means people are in it, right? The chat is going off. That means people are in it. They're talking to each other. They're asking questions. And so the same thing when you're presenting and you're teaching a course in person, you can make eye contact with people. You know when you're like boring, when people are falling asleep, right? It's all of that.
Yes.
Listen, when the very first financial literacy session I did on Zoom, nobody had their cameras on. The one guy who had his camera on, he was falling asleep. I was mortified because that is not how I present. I was like, what is happening here? I can't do this. And so that's what forced me to separate myself from other financial literacy instructors, where I was like, I need to find a platform that when I go on these Zoom sessions, I need people to pay attention. I need people I need to get engaged. And so that's kind of how I got into it. And that's how I started actually my entrepreneurial business with what I do in terms of helping you to digitally present your best self. Because for those of us in corporate America, for those of us that do have LinkedIn profiles, if you're a content creator, it's different. But for the majority of LinkedIn, right? Because the majority is not content creators. But for the majority of the business professionals that are on LinkedIn, they're still using their laptop webcams, AirPods, their laptop microphones. And then it's the saying, first impressions are everything, right? So when you enter a room physically prior to the pandemic, for me in banking world, we talked about, and I think me and you, we had a brief chat when I was talking about like how I dress, right? At the bank. I'm dressed in a full suit. It's pressed. My hair is done. I got brand new shoes, right? Because first impressions are everything, even before you open your mouth.
Yes.
How do you do that now when the world has either transitioned, your business has either transitioned to a video conferencing platform or a hybrid platform? How do you stand out? That's how I come in. I help you to digitally present your best self. I'm going to show you about the tech, and I'm going to simplify that tech so that you can look good, you can sound good, you can do your presentations, and you can feel comfortable doing it. So,
man, and that is, hey, give that folks, for those who don't know, like what this is, and there's another gentleman. Where's my buddy at? There he is. I know he just had to say something.
Yeah.
Corporate people suck at presenting. Yes.
Right.
And that's what, he's another creator who I kind of connected with because that was
Yeah.
the sort of same idea behind it, is like, hey, getting these people to understand your presentations, what you do, how you
Yeah.
present yourself doesn't have to be boring, doesn't have to be all of these,
Right.
it doesn't have to be the Zoom call with just bad audio
Right.
and people's
Right.
dishes blaring in the background and clanking in the back. It's you can actually make
Right.
yourself look professional, and again, people walk away
Right.
with that impression when they're done. It's like, man, did you see her camera, or did you see how he did this,
Right.
or how that was done? I mean, that is where I love to see, again, this happen here on the platform, because again, here's the thing
Yeah.
that I want to talk about. There's a lot of professional business, corporate professionals on here who have
Yep.
thousands of dollars to spend on home offices, who have thousands of
Right.
dollars to spend on this stuff, and they
Right.
have no clue
Right.
what they're doing. So
Right.
what do they have to do? If they don't
Right.
if they don't find the right people, they're just going to hire whoever to handle this for them. And where I would like to say, you know what? No, I know more seasoned, well-groomed individuals that know how to do this, who've actually operated on a corporate level, and
Yep.
they understand exactly what you need. And that's why I
Yep.
love to find these sort of creators here, across multiple platforms. That's why I skull people like, how do you spend so much time? Why do you spend so much live streaming? Because number one, I am a live streamer, and
Right.
I learn from
Right.
other live streamers, and I want to discover all the cool stuff that other people are doing as well, because that is what I want to start integrating here on the LinkedIn platform. So if there's any way,
Definitely.
folks, like I said, if you have not connected with India, please do. I dropped her
Yes.
LinkedIn in the chat at the very beginning. You can go back and
Definitely.
click it. It is a link, and you can
Yep.
actually go connect there as well.
Yep.
But there's a few other things that I want people to actually know about you. I love that you do, what is it? Is it bike riding? I believe I've seen
Cycling. Yeah. I rode a cycle. Yeah. Yeah.
rode
Yeah. Yeah.
cycle,
Yeah.
right? Because there's, again, it's all about what we do here. And this is what
Yep.
I love to share about people, is that it's more than just me banking, me live streaming.
Yep.
I love that you do that as well, because there's a few other like creators who love to share their hobbies apart
Right.
from doing that as well. So,
Yeah.
how did you get into, first of all, cycling? Because I just recently started riding a bike myself, and
Yeah.
I hung up my boots on that one as well, because it wasn't for me. I'm just gonna stick to running. I tried it.
Why did you not like it? No.
Well, part of it for me was that, again, maybe it was because of the bike that I bought, and the
Yeah.
seat that I bought. I
Yeah.
should have bought something a little bit more comfortable, because it was hurting
Yeah.
my ass very
Yeah.
bad.
Makes a huge difference. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Listen, you can get actually fitted for your seat. Listen, you know how we talk about gear acquisition syndrome, gas,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And what we do, man,
yes.
can spend a lot of money. Um, cycling, I learned very quickly. I'm broke between being a content creator and listen, my bike alone, my bike with the rims and the bike itself, I've already have about 5 or 6 grand into it. It is
Wow.
insane. My bike brand new, just the bike is $3,200 brand new. The rims and tires is another grand. I have a bike GPS. Like, we're not even going to go through the math, because it's probably at this point, it's probably more than 5 grand.
I felt bad spending almost $400 on a bike. I was like, wow.
A very
Wow.
expensive sport. So I've always loved as a kid, right? Like, that's what we did. Listen, our generation as a kid, go outside and go ride your bike. Like, what are you doing? And
Right.
I would ride my bike. And being from New York, from Brooklyn, if you didn't know, what's cracking? Born and
Yerp.
raised in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Being in New York, like, that's one of the things I gotta get places I'm gonna ride my bike, right? Um, and so I've always had a love for cycling. I've always had an affinity for cycling. And then as adults, we just forget all the things we do as kids. And I don't know, as I started maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I was like, man, I want to get back into riding my bike. And I bought, back when Sports Authority was still open, I bought a ugly, like, heavy bike from Sports Authority, rode my bike here and there. And when I was looking to buy my home in Philly last year, I learned that there is a huge cycling community in Philly. There's a good amount of bike lanes, there's a good amount of bike trails. And so when I bought my home, I said my what is it? My gift to myself for my, what is it, housewarming? My housewarming
Yes.
gift to myself is that I'm gonna buy a bike. And so I bought a bike. I moved in. I closed on April 30th. Listen to this psychoticness. Talk about money spending. I closed on April 30th. I bought my first bike 3 or 4 weeks later, and it was, so I bought my first, and I say my first bike because I actually crashed. I got into a really bad accident. I crashed, broke the fork, needed to buy a new bike.
Mm.
And so I bought the bike. That was fine. My first bike was about maybe 1,500 bucks. But that was just a bike. And I bought it online. They shipped it to me. I went to my local cycling store and I said, listen, I want to start. I don't know, like new content creators.
Yes.
Hey, I
What do
want
you
to
need?
start. You're the professional. Help me. What you need? What do I need to buy? The guy was the greatest salesperson, and not like not trying to like steal money out of my pockets, because
Yes.
I'm a salesperson, right? Like I can see a salesperson 20 miles away.
Right.
He was legit a great salesperson, like peeling back the onion and paraphrasing, like did all the things that I'm like, yes, yes, I need a helmet. Yes, I need cycling shoes. Yes, I need cycling shorts. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
$600 later. I'm not even kidding. I was like, we got to the register. He was like, it'll be like $557 with 21 cents. I said, what? How? Can I put some of this stuff back?
Right.
But I will say
Yes.
that it is a great sport. I haven't done it too much this year. I've been lazy, for lack of better words. It has kept my blood pressure down. Every time when I do consistently cycle, they take my blood pressure, they're like, your blood pressure is so good. It's a great sport for cardio, low impact. And it gets me to a point where my endorphins and my adrenaline is going. I feel free. Like if you're a cyclist and you talk to a true cyclist, they'll tell you, you feel free when you are riding your bike. So
I love that though. But that's, again, that's where like passion spreads. We're doing things like that. And this is where, for a lot of people, they might come into the idea of content creation. As a sort of passion to learn how to do it. And then they actually do what you're talking about. You go in there and you start wanting to learn all the tips and everything else. How do I do this? How do I do that? Because I want to talk about that as well, because, you know, you do a live stream talking about tech, and teaching people like how to use what cameras and overlays and all the cool stuff that we get to put together and do on our shows. You teach people how to actually start from either scratch or how to kind of elevate what they already do as a content creator. So I want to ask you a few questions about like how you would address somebody if they came to you and said, hey, look, I'm starting out in content creation. But again, I'm I'm walking into your bike store and I'm saying, where do I start? What do I need to go and sort of start creating content that I can start putting my message out there? And, you know, what kind of tips would you give me if I was coming in here and saying, I have an idea, I just don't know what to do with it and how to kind of formulate it into something more tangible?
The easiest answer that I think a lot of people give, but it is so true, is just start, right? Like you have an idea, start. You don't know where to start. You don't know how to formulate it, but you have to start, because you're not going to know what works and what doesn't work until you start. You're not going to know what you like and what you don't like, or how you need to grow until you start. So the most important thing, and I say that because it is a very real thing, even for me as a content creator with where I'm at. I'm right now, my roadblock for starting is with pre-recorded videos. That is the biggest thing that's holding my growth back, both in terms of like growth, like with subscribers, but also growth with my business, with revenue monetarily, because I don't have enough pre-recorded videos. And I can give you all the excuses in the world, but if I just started and I did it, I'd be further along in where I am. Um, so it's honestly start. And then from there, that's the quickest answer I can give you. I don't
Okay.
feel like, and I feel like a lot of people, and we see it a lot in the Ecamm Live Facebook community,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people ask for advice and the responders give spitfire answers for what works best for them. And that's doing that individual who asked the question a
Mm-hmm.
disservice,
Yes.
right? Because you can ask me, India, you can say, India, I love your microphone. That microphone sounds great. Right. And I can, or what's the microphone recommendation? Get this one. I love this microphone. I don't know what your budget is. I don't even know if you have an audio interface that can take XLR.
Right.
Right. Right. So the quickest, easiest answer is to start. But then, and this is what I have on my website, I actually have a free 30-minute discovery call, because in order for me to find out what you really need, we have to have a discovery call and we have to have a conversation. And within that conversation, I'm going to ask you a little bit more questions. I'm going to help you peel back the onion of, all right, so what gear do you have right now?
Yeah.
What's your budget? If you don't have a budget, then I'm going to make it work with you with your cell phone, right? You're going to go get maybe a good tripod. You're going to go maybe get a better, maybe we'll spend, a couple of bucks on a light. Maybe we'll spend a couple of bucks more money first on a microphone that you can use on both your cell phone and then eventually your computer,
Yeah.
right? So it depends on all of that stuff. And then it also depends on what's your goal, your primary, your immediate goal, your short-term goal. Right? Because depending on what your immediate goal and your short goal, that's the same. What your short goal is, your short-term goal and your long-term goal is, then at that point, that's when we can say, all right, so let's talk about that as well. Because again, have you even used Ecamm or some sort of live streaming platform service or pre-recorded service, whether it's OBS, whether it's Ecamm, whether it's Restream, whether it's StreamYard, right? All of those things, I got to find that out first. And then at that point, once we start asking the baseline questions and finding out more about you, then together we can create a plan of, do you need help first setting up with maybe the right platform to even record and do live streaming? Or do you have that down already? Right? Or do we need to work on gear first? Maybe you got the two already, and maybe we really do just need to figure out then, how do you put it out into the world? Is engagement an issue? So it's not, it drives me crazy because people want to tell you what you need and have no idea who the hell you are. And that is the worst thing. So
And yes, I love that you just you broke it down in a way that, again, we as content creators
Right.
have gone through, and this has been the experience. And the one thing that I love that you touched on is that just because what I do and my
Right.
share may not work for you, I love that you do
Right.
that as well. Do you have that sort of conversation prior to understanding, like whether or not
Right.
I can even work with you, if I'm the right person to be
Right.
doing this for you, because
Right.
your goals and objectives and your expectations might be totally different from what I coach.
Correct.
And that
Correct.
is important when you reach out to somebody. I mean, people come to me and they're like, hey, you're the king of LinkedIn Live. Yes, I proclaim myself the king. So, self-proclaimed king
Right.
of LinkedIn Live, but people come to me all the time and they're asking me certain things. And I tell them, like, for
Yeah.
example, I had one today asking me about production. And I said, yes, I
Yeah.
know production, but I'm not dealing with production. I do
Yeah.
more as far as consultations, helping you more along the lines of DIYing what you do. And it's very much like what you explained there as well. where
Right.
they're looking for somebody more to handle like what Yasmin does here actually. So actually handling the tech, doing the build out, doing the runs of shows, doing
Right.
the whole 9 yards of a whole production, almost like an event. And
Right.
if you're looking for that person, then that's where I say, well, let me guide you to this individual, because they will probably be able to help you get to
Right.
whatever your objective is better than I can.
Right.
And,
Right.
and that's where like having those sort of conversations are very important, because
Right.
you can lead people down the wrong path to what you're doing. And then what happens in the end is if they get burned, or they, the experience comes off bad, then they just might throw their hands up and I'm walking, well, live streaming sucks.
Right.
I walk away
And then
from it.
the other thing I'll say with that, in terms of advice, and Yasmin, I think hit the nail on the head talking about wasted money. The
Yes.
first part of that, which becomes a result of wasted money. There's a lot of results of wasted money.
Yes.
But with the one point I'm going to make is to be open. Don't come to me or asking people for advice when you don't want advice.
Right.
Right.
I've had those conversations too. Yes.
Right. Don't come to me and say, listen, and not that you have to take it, but I've had one, and when I saw Yasmin's comment, it really stuck out to me. This is what I mean. You come to me, I'll give you a 30-minute consultation. I'm going to ask what you want. We're going to talk about a handful. I can probably help you, because the other thing is also, how much time do you have
Right.
to do what you want? Right. Because I can probably help, not probably, I can absolutely coach you and consult with you to get you to set up with Ecamm so you can do it with your eyes closed.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got a show in 3 days from now and you want me to, nah, we're not doing that. Right. So then at that point, my recommendation is going to be, I got 2 options for you.
Right.
My first option is going to be, let me give you a package deal. Your priority is to get this show done by Sunday. Let me remote produce the show for you. I'll help you out. I'll do this. I'll do that. And then we'll get that out the way so that you don't look foolish to your community.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll schedule out the sessions so that I can help you, so that maybe in 2 or 3 months from now, you don't need to hire a remote producer.
Right.
Right. So taking the advice, because then what happens is there are a lot of people, because yes, at that point, a package becomes more expensive because I have to do 2 jobs instead of one. Right. So yes, absolutely. And I'm going to cut you a deal. I'm not going to charge you as if you're paying for remote production. And I'm going to combine it. I'm going to cut you a deal, but it is more expensive. But people sometimes think with their pockets instead of forward thinking. Right.
Yes.
And they're not thinking about the long-term investment. Listen, you're going to spend twice, or if not 3 times more, if you don't do it right the first time. Sometimes you got to spend a little bit more money now, so that you are not wasting money in the future. So I needed to talk about that, because that's a very real thing. And that has absolutely happened to me.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the whole idea behind why it's actually sometimes understandable to go to actually hire somebody to do production, because again, walking the ideas of doing it the DIY route when you have like no experience of like what that is, and then you want to create a major production, or you have an event that you're going to do this for, and of course on top of that, most of them usually say, well, we're going to do something with the content and the video afterwards. Well, of course you want the best presentation possible.
Absolutely.
So you're going to redo this all over again.
Absolutely.
And last thing you need is, to be, again, I'm going to use this as an example, but to be doing this and all of a sudden, and then you don't know that your audio is missing, and people are like, what was just said? I got no clue.
Right. Exactly. Right.
So there are a lot of things, and there's a lot of individual things that go into that arena of creating production. And yes, I've done it for other people. I've done it for live streams here on LinkedIn. I've done 24-hour live stream where I had to coordinate everything, and it takes a lot of work. And then when you give them the bill or the invoice, and even if you give them right, they're like, holy crap, it's a lot.
Right.
And that's what I want. And I pushed a lot of people to understand that. And that's why, like I've talked about people here, and I will mention her again, but there's a reason, like I love what Stephanie Liu does, because she's covered this ad nauseum in doing her shows, her not episodes, her series Showrunner, where she did talk about this, and then she even took it to the next level and talking about social selling and how all that works as well.
Yeah.
So there is a value in it, and there's a lot of people that are getting in this live stream game, and that's one of the big things that they have to understand is that,
Right.
you know, there is a lot of things that you actually don't know. And I love what Yasmin does. Yes, I like what you do.
I know.
I did that on purpose, but then the people are going to go, your audio's out, and they're going to mention
Right,
it.
right.
But
Right.
that's the real reason, is that you want a
Right.
professional or somebody that's had at least the equivalency of doing a lot of these, so that you're going to get the best created event or production that you possibly can for the money that you're going to, that you want to spend on it. I mean,
Yeah.
and like I said, you've done this as well. Your YouTube channel is full of these tutorials for people who want to
Yeah.
go. And that's where I tell a lot of content creators to go before they,
Yeah.
if they want to reach out to a creator in general wanting to work with them, is to say, go to YouTube University, go study it up. And then if you're still having problems or issues, at least you know what your issues are and how to go address
Right.
them. And then reach out to somebody like India and say, hey, listen, I've done this before. This is where I get lost. And
Yeah.
maybe it kind of cuts down on the time that you, again, have to go through the process of wanting to learn how to do this. And,
Right.
and being able to say, okay, now I've learned X, Y, Z, and I learned this from India. It's just kind of helped me guide me along of where I want to go objective wise in being a creator.
Right.
Because
Right.
there's money in it. This is what this,
Yeah.
you know, LinkedIn is filled with this. This is what the creator economy's built around now,
Right.
and what we're doing. So it is the courses, it is the social selling, it is
Yeah.
all of these things here.
Yeah.
And people are starting to see the money, and they follow
Yeah.
the money.
Right.
That's usually
Right.
the first thing. They follow the money. And now they're like,
Right.
following the money. Then where does the money trail lead you? So it's going to lead you to creators who are already
Right.
doing this, like us, who've spent time. And I mean, you're going on 2 years. I've done this 3 years. There's other creators who've been doing this for 5, 10 years.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And that is where our expertise and what we help you create has paid off. The dividends of our experience and discovery, and crashing and failing and doing it
Right.
over again. And
Yeah.
like you said, messing up. And I mean, it's even funny that I mention this because I mean, when you were doing your 100 live streams, there were times where you would come on live and you're
Yeah.
like, what'd I do with my overlay? It's gone. I don't know. And you have to go through and you'll,
Right. No, I didn't lock my scenes. Lock your scenes, India. 100%. Absolutely.
but
It
that's the
happens
whole
all the
thing.
time.
All of us learn. We're still learning after 2 years. Getting close
Right.
to you're still learning. I mean, I learned something new
Right.
the other night. I need to
Yeah.
learn. I learned I need to have a backup power source. I lost power in the middle of my live stream, and probably,
No.
yes, I had a storm.
Yeah.
Power got knocked out. Everybody that was watching, we had a really good conversation going,
Oh,
and
man.
then boom, gone. You know, luckily, have a great community and audience that tunes in.
Yeah.
They stuck around.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was down
Yeah.
for 5 minutes, and luckily, my guest that evening, Miss Tanya Smith, hats off to you.
Yeah. Tanya's dope. She's gonna be on my show, Ladies'
Oh.
Night. I don't know.
Oh.
One Sunday. I got a few guests lined up. So Tanya's gonna be on the show on Sunday, whichever Sunday it is. I gotta look it up. Yeah, I love
Okay.
Tanya.
Yes.
Yeah.
But great guest, and you know, she hung out and
Yeah.
again waited around for a few minutes and then called right back in, hopped in, and we just continued the conversation like it was
That's
nothing.
dope.
So
Yeah.
you know, the first 25 minutes was good. We got lost for another 5, and then the last 30 was
Right.
good. And but it's good to have an individual who's gone through it and understood it. And yes, we handled it like pros. We were like, hey,
Right.
this can happen. So that was the first for me. But
Yeah.
but now I've been researching like backup power
Yeah.
so that I can have something just-
Generators or something. Exactly. Like, come on, this can't happen again.
Yes, that was the
Yeah.
first for me in 3 years of live streaming. I've never had that where I've just completely lost a stream. Now I've lost connectivity, and I've had my guests kind of like bantered on for like 8 to 9 minutes while I was
Yeah.
trying to reconnect.
Yeah.
So I learned from that point, hey, you got to have a backup way to connect. So whether it's using your phone as a hotspot or having a hotspot available,
Yeah.
so you just boom, back in and you're off and running.
Yeah.
But I've learned these, again, you learn these lessons over that time period of you being a live stream creator. So one more question that I want to ask. Because I always do a little bit of shenanigans, and people love shenanigans, of course.
Oh, okay. All right. Uh-oh. It's about to get real.
So, all
Hold
right,
on.
I want to ask you this.
All right. Okay.
So, if tomorrow they said, India Delgado, you have to leave the United States, what country would you pick and why? Where would you go?
I don't even have to think about that one.
Oh,
Off the top of my head, Paris.
oh,
Absolutely love Paris. I've been there twice. I loved Paris so much that I said, had I gone to Paris when I was in my early 20s, I would have 100% like picked up and moved out there and just lived out there.
yes.
I absolutely love it.
Okay, I'm going to give a distinction here, folks. She's talking about Paris, France, not Paris,
Yeah.
Texas. So there's a Paris, Texas here.
Yes, Paris, France.
Paris,
yes.
France.
Over the pond. Yes.
Interesting. I love,
Yeah.
I think I would be sort of enamored as well with the culture around France.
Yeah.
I always wanted to go. I've never been,
Yeah.
but that is like one on my list of going there.
Yeah.
Just simply because it's enriched with not only history, but then the culture around it and everything that's sort
Yeah.
of. So I'm glad that you got that figured out. I mean,
Yeah.
So if they come tomorrow with your walking papers, it's like, well, I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
Koa.
I mean, I hope
Let's
it wouldn't
go.
happen, but yeah, I'm good to visit. I mean, it's one of those things, but that's where it'd be. Okay, if I have to make a choice, no problem. All right.
Yes. So there you go. And that's right.
What's
Okay.
the thing within Paris, Texas? I don't know.
Nothing there. But that's I had to make the distinction. So, okay, Indio. So where, if people want to connect with you beside LinkedIn, we're going to help you build your LinkedIn connection here because that's what we
please.
do.
Yes,
But
please.
where else can people reach out to you if they want to connect with you and, I don't know, maybe have a 30-minute conversation and want to learn more about what you do as a creator?
Yeah. So my my domain, indiad.live. So you can find me indiad.live, anything that you want. So if you're looking for me on YouTube, I am the only India Delgado that you can find on YouTube.
That's right.
But indiad.live/YouTube, indiad.live/LinkedIn, indiad.live/Instagram. So it goes on and on and on, right?
On.
Twitter. Click on that
Great.
indiad.live
We
and
need
just
to get you a link tree.
type in a random word and you'll find it.
Yeah, so I say we need to get you a link tree. It's like, go there.
I mean, I have indiad.live/bio, and then there
Okay.
is everything.
There you go. Just go to
Indiad.live.
that's what we do. Next time, just go to the website. We're going to send you all to the website. Go over there because then you can also learn about what she does, services,
Absolutely.
everything that she does as a creator, and you can also book your time and have a conversation with her. She'll help you get the tech down and what you do as an individual. So thank you, India. Gosh, I had another wonderful conversation. And I also need to book on your Sunday show. I still have the link.
Yeah.
And we can have some fun as well. And
Yep.
yes, even I was going to mention that you beat me to the punch, Mr. Moderator, but she also has a Stream Deck
Yes.
Masterclass, which is awesome. I've actually taken
Yes,
part
all
in
my
it.
products are there. So whether it's my consulting or my master classes, my 30-minute discovery call, that link there, courses.indiad.live/store, everything is there. And you can find out how to get in contact with me, all of that
There
good
you go.
stuff.
So there you go. It's now is a actual link in the comments there. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. This
you,
is what he does so well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Look at this. He's dropping links. I need one of these for my shows.
You need you a Mr. Moderator. I love I keep them in the closet. You know that, right? I keep them locked in the closet.
I need one of these. So if there's anybody out there besides him, I know he's busy. I need a moderator like this because he drops the links at the right times. He can lead you,
Yeah,
guide you. This is what a moderator is supposed to do. So that's why he's awesome.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
thank you, India. Sit tight, everybody else.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, we're going to go into our quick LinkedIn news segment. We got our LinkedIn news, which we do every now Tuesday and Thursday. So here we go, folks. Let's. All right, there we go. We're going to talk about this lady right here, folks. So if you have not figured out what we're talking about, we're talking about Queen Elizabeth. And why is this important to LinkedIn news? Well, we do have a lot of LinkedIn creators and people that are across the platform, across the pond. And even like if India were to be kicked out, she'd be living over there in somewhere in Europe. So yes, the Queen of England at 96 years old, the ripe old age of 96-year-olds has passed away today. They will be now bringing in King Charles, I guess is what he'll be called. So, but we're going to talk a little bit about
con le immagini.
how people were reporting
Andiamo
this.
Buckingham Palace.
There you go.
Vediamo se riusciamo a mostrarvelo in
I don't know what she's
diretta.
saying, but you can read the captions. If you love captions,
Eccolo qua, Buckingham
this is the
Palace.
stream for you.
Vediamo, se non sbaglio, la bandiera, eccola qui.
Half staff, yes.
A mezz'asta. È morta la regina Elisabetta II.
So,
I'm sorry. Arthur, we have to pause for a moment here. Stay with us. We have got some breaking news. Sandra?
The Queen has passed away. The Queen died peacefully, the royal family says, at Balmoral this afternoon. The King and the Queen consort will remain at Balmoral this evening and will return to London tomorrow. Queen Elizabeth II has died at the age of 96.
wow, 96.
John, her health in just recent weeks and months,
96.
Obviously was
Whoa.
called into question.
Il est 20h ici à Paris, 1 heure
Oh,
de moins
Paris,
à Londres.
French. We're
Bonsoir à
talking
tous.
French.
Vous êtes toujours
So,
sur France 24. Bienvenue à tous.
There you go, India.
Pour la
If you're
suite
watching,
de cette
French is
édition
now
spéciale, c'est une page de l'histoire du Royaume-Uni, du
big
Commonwealth et
news
du
around
monde
the
qui se
world.
tourne ce soir. La reine Elisabeth II est morte à l'âge de 96 ans, dont 70 ans de règne.
Guten Abend, meine Damen und Herren. Ich begrüße Sie zur
Around the
Tagesschau.
world, folks. See, this is what we
Königin
do. We
Elisabeth
cover news from
II.
around the world
ist
here
tot.
on
Das teilte der Buckingham Palast
UnFiltered
in
Live.
London mit. Die britische
is important.
Monarchin starb im Alter von 96 Jahren auf ihrem Sommersitz Schloss Balmoral in Schottland.
Yes.
Ihre engsten Familienangehörigen waren
I
bei
agree.
ihr. Die Queen aus dem Hause Windsor hatte
Yes.
erst vor kurzem ihr 70. Thronjubiläum gefeiert.
I believe
Ihre
you.
Herrschaftszeit ist damit eine der längsten der Geschichte.
Perfect. 100%. So there you go. This is big news. It'll be hitting the platform. I'm pretty sure you'll see tons of posts tomorrow. People sharing condolences. Again, the ripe old age of 96 years old. She became queen at the age of 25, folks. She had a 71-year reign as Queen of England. It's probably unprecedented, something that'll never be matched again. And just so you know, Prince Charles did not actually become the next in line to the throne until he was 3. He is 73 now, so he's had to wait 70 years to become the next king of England. So I'm pretty sure once the time of grieving and mourning passes, they will hold his coronation as King Charles III, as Miss Charlene has mentioned there. So there you go. That is a breaking news, and I'm pretty sure you're going to find everywhere else. It's probably being covered on CNN, but who cares about CNN? You want to watch it here on Unfiltered Live and in your LinkedIn Live news. So there you go, folks. That is our LinkedIn news for the day. All right. So other than that, there we go. Green screen again. Wow. It's totally off. So thank you again, everybody, for showing up. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you. Please go follow India on LinkedIn. Let's build her up here. She's another wonderful, great creator. And I have spent my time investing in finding great creators, and that I want to bring them here on the platform. So when we do, we got to support them, build them up. And that's right. We have, see, there you go, Yolanda. Thank you. I love you guys. You're amazing. But again, we will be back tomorrow evening, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time, folks. We will be doing our live call-in show tomorrow. And I have a surprise. I'll go ahead and announce it now. I'm going to be live streaming with my brothers. That's right. My actual brothers will be coming on the show tomorrow. So if you've ever watched the show, they've been on here once or twice before, but we're going to bring them back. This is the fourth season here, and they have their own podcasts, which they call Now That We Mention It. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about how they got into live streaming, what we do as a fun family. And you guys can go and ask them embarrassing questions about me, and I will allow them to answer it. So we're going to have fun tomorrow evening again, and we'll have our live call-in show. So we will have the 877 number up tomorrow. So other than that, thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. You guys have a great rest of your night. Stay well, stay blessed, be good, and we will see you again tomorrow evening. So until then, good night, everybody.